EQUOBOX is the easy solution for smart metering proposed by Sinapsi. EQUOBOX is a system based on 4 basic concepts. Complete. It allows the metering of different sources. Scalable. Different solutions depending on plant typology. Open and integrated. Supports different protocols over various field bus. Easy to install. In a few minutes, it is possible to set up the whole system. EQUOBOX Smart Solution is composed of 1 level converter and 1 data logger. It has been developed to manage all the devices in compliance with M-Bus standard. Remove the seal. Read the instruction sheet before proceeding with installation. Attach the device to the DIN bar and extract the power supply connectors. Connect the power supply cables and put the clamps back in their respective housing. Connect the serial bus between the EQUOBOX RTU data logger and the EQUOBOX LC1 level converter, respecting polarity. Connect the ABC clamp on the level converter respectively to the ABC clamp of the data logger. Connect the Ethernet cable to one of the 2 data logger ETH1 or ETH2 ports. Extract the 2 level converter clamps relative to the M-Bus master section. Connect the M-Bus cable to the clamps and put them back in their respective housing. Apply power to the 2 devices and check that the level convert does not signal anomalies on the bus. Introduce the default password 0000000 to access the main menu. Scan the bus to allow the acquisition of all meters connected. A first search will be carried out by primary address at a baud rate of 2400 bit per second, detecting all meters with primary address between 1 and 250. The number of new meters found and the total number of meters found up to this point are indicated during the search. At the end of the search by primary address, the data logger passes to a second acquisition phase where the meters are searched for using the secondary address, that is, its own serial number. All meters that are configured without a valid primary address will be detected in this second phase. At the end of the search, press OK to save the meters found. The display will show the list of meters saved. The serial number and communication status will be given for every meter. The data logger can acquire and log the consumption of the meters present in the list without further setup. By scrolling the list using the navigation keys and pressing OK on the corresponding meter, it is possible to consult the last reading taken, viewing the status of the meters and all relevant fields for metering, such as energy, volumes, flow rates, temperatures and power. To access the data logger web server, exit the meter list menu using the ESC key. Shift to the True Info menu using the navigation keys and go to LAN status. Connect the Ethernet cable to a PC and make note of the data logger IP address shown on the display of the data logger. Open a browser such as Chrome, Firefox or Safari and type the data logger IP address into the address bar. When authorization is requested, introduce the default credentials, admin and admin. General information will appear in the home page. the status of the inputs, outputs, and the list of meters saved. In the System section under the Settings menu, it is possible to introduce the plant details, entering the plant name, address, installer name, customer name, and date of installation. This information is given in the data logger consumption reports generated. For the system to send the reports and any alarm or anomaly signals, the email account must be set up in the Network section. Enter the name of the mail server, username, password, and email recipient addresses. Save the settings and send a test email. Now, access the setup of each meter saved from the Meters section in the Settings menu. A table gives a list of all meters. Introduce an identification name for each of these and 2 descriptions, as for example, Apartment 1, Cold Water, and Floor 1. Device name and description 1 are used in the reports and to signal alarms or anomalies to identify the meter. In addition to the main setup parameters, such as scan interval, the date of installation, you will also find the model, manufacturer, and photo of the meter. All of the data provided by the meter is given in the Meter Data Block Settings section. Each of these is identified with an explanatory description as well as the description supplied by the MBUS standard. For each field, it is also possible to select the type of processing for the daily summary data. Finally, it is possible to select which of the fields are significant and which will therefore be visible for that type of meter. In the Meter Alarm Settings section, it is possible to modify the settings relative to the anomalies that the data logger notifies by email relative to the particular meter. The types of anomalies are those indicated by the MBUS standard, and also those managed by the meter indicated in the error flag type fields. If the meter is not included in the database inside the data logger, the settings must be checked in the Meter Data Block Settings and Meter Alarm Settings section. Going back to the index page, the names and descriptions assigned to each meter appear in the meters list. By selecting a meter from the list, the main information regarding the device is displayed. Description, communication status, and date and time of last reading. The following table gives the data of the last reading taken, with relative description for each field. Instead, the Event tab displays all of the events logged by the data logger. The events saved are those relative to forwarding of emails, FTP, and any events relative to the input and output of MBUS logic. In the Planning section of the Export Data menu, for each meter it is possible to modify the scheduling of generation and forwarding of consumption reports using the following values: daily, monthly, 2 monthly, 3 monthly, 6 monthly, and yearly. Here it is also possible to select the report file format and enable forwarding of the file to a remote FTP server. When setup has been completed, it is advised to change the access credentials by modifying the username and password for the administrator and user accounts. Open a browser and type the hostname or public IP address of the plant to be accessed for generation or consultation of consumption reports into the address bar. In the repository section of the Export Data menu, you can access all reports generated by the data logger according to the scheduling set. By clicking on the link of a report, the file starts to download onto your PC. A consumption report can also be created directly online by accessing the Create Report section of the Export Data menu. Select all or just some of the meters from the list for which a report is to be created. To create a report with all of the daily readings, select the Export Raw Data type of report and then select the day for which the report is to be created. Select the report format from XLS and CSV extension and start to download the data. When download has been completed, select the name of the report file to be generated. By clicking on the link, the report generated will start to download. Is made up from a heading with the data relative to the plant, such as plant name, address, installer's name, and customer. For every meter, you will find all the readings for the day selected with the relevant field values for metering. To create a consumption report for a particular period, select Export Summary Daily Data, select the desired time interval and start to download the data. Select the report file name and start generation. The report generated is made up from a heading, just like the previous report. For each meter, the daily summary data, the absolute value, and the daily consumption of the values logged are shown. The total consumption in the period selected is also shown for every meter. A compact version of the report is also possible, showing only the consumption for the entire period selected.